Hey there, Steve here. Hope you're doing well. Today we're going to look at some vocal melody writing tips using the example we saw in the intro there. That was the intro to a song called Incandescent by my band Mountains. And it's a fun little piece, and we're going to dissect that and have a look how I put it together so you can get an idea of how to use these tips that I'm going to give you in some context instead of me just telling you them and then you have to go and figure it out for yourself. At least you have some examples of how to use them. And I like to stress that this is my own understanding of music theory and how I approach this. So if you don't agree with anything, that's completely fine. But with that said, let's get straight into it. So, like I said, there's going to be 3 tips for this one. So I'm going to try and keep it simple so you can follow along. And I'm going to be using the keyboard here because I believe it's much easier to see how this works in relation to chords and stuff that I will get into. So the first tip is look at the harmony. So this is where you should start always, really. And this will tell you what notes you can use, especially if you take a look at the chords that have been used in the harmony and also the overall key. So if we relate this to the incandescent intro that you saw there, this is based around 2 chords. It's based around a G major and a D major chord. And so that sounds like this. So you got your G major chord there and a D major chord there, but it has a C in the bass, and then the D chord has a G in the bass as well, but I don't have enough keys here, sorry to put that one in for you. And so now I know this is in the key of G major, so I know I could use these notes for my harmony: G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. And if I use those notes within this song, if I'm playing diatonically within this key of G major, these notes will probably sound fine. But what I want you to look at is the actual chords that have been used themselves and what notes you can use in relation. So to make things easier, let's use a C major chord in the key of C major. So we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And you can see there's no sharps or flats here. That's why this makes this a much easier example. So it said if we play a C, our C chord, the notes 3 and 5, which builds a C major triad, these notes are very safe to use along with C. The 3rd and the 5th, so C, D, E, F, and G. E and G. So if you use these notes, it's going to sound very safe and you're not going to run into any problems. If you want to add some more coloration, then you can start to add different notes, like you could add the 2nd to the C. Adds, slight little bit of tension, right? You got the 3rd there, sounds very safe. 4th sounds very steadfast, right? It feels like it needs to go somewhere there, right? 5th, sounds very solid. That 5-1 cadence. And the 6th, again, it sounds like it needs to move somewhere, right? And the 7th, major 7th, has a slight tension to it. It really needs to go resolve like that, right? So 1, 3, and 5, very safe. 1, 2, 1, 4, 1, 6, 1, 7, and octave again there. So basically now you've got a bunch of notes you can use there, and as each chord changes, you're going to have to think about how these notes will also change with the chord. If you keep using these C major notes over different chords within C major, you're going to get different effects from that. So which notes you choose is up to you, of course. If you want stuff to sound very safe and very diatonic, then stick around these safe notes with your harmony. If you want things to sound a bit more tense and out there, then you can start using the 7th degree and using the in-between notes to add a bit of tension there. So let's relate it to the incandescent one. So what note choices did I make here? So if we go back to our G chord, the first one, so it's the 1st of G major. So I chose the notes E, so and then it goes to a D, which is the 5th of G, so it's a very, very safe note. And then it goes to the B. So again, a very safe note there with the 3rd and the 5th. So it walks down like that, a descending melody. And then when we come over to the D, and then we have a D mirrored. Go to a B, which is the 6th, 2, and I add that tension in there with a 7th, 2, the C over a D, find, then back to the B, And then the melody repeats itself again. Soft mind, and I do. So there were my note choices there. So you see I chose some safe notes there. Over the G I had the third and the fifth. I had a B note and a D note, so they sound very solid, very safe. But also I put the E in there to lead it a bit. And over the D chord, I had the D, which is the first, so it's a very safe note, of course, safe sounding note. Then I had the B, which is the sixth, and then the C, obviously to add that tension at the seventh. So the B and the C and D clash you get going on. So this kind of sound. You get that semitone clash going on there. But obviously it's spaced out a bit, so it doesn't sound as clashy that way. And this leads us on to the third and final thing, which is voice leading. So giving shape and direction to your melody. So it's all good to choose the notes, but what order to put them in and how to do that kind of thing, you're probably asking. So if we take a look at the example I did, repetition, I want to say, is a very powerful tool. So melodies often repeat themselves. So this way, you can get familiar with it, and it's a very, solid thing to do in a song, and obviously less work for you to do as well. So if we take the incandescent intro again, so we'll go back to this G and a C. So we've got this lately, and then struggle to find, and then the second time round, peace of mind, when I do. And then the third one, I put a variation in there. Quickly, so we go the E, D to the E. Quickly see straight through, and like that, you see. So, and then the last one. On to the next. Distraction. So yeah, like I said, there's a repetition. So the whole thing, actually, the same melody repeats 3 times, but it has that variation on the third round there. So I thought that's something you should try and do. So make a central melody idea and then make some variations on that. That's another thing you can do. But obviously, if you want a melody to be very jumpy, you can also do this to achieve different effects. But I'm talking like, from this example specifically, it's supposed to flow quite nicely with that ascend and descend with the direction of the melody. And that leads us to the bonus tip for you, and that's to take it into consideration how busy is the harmony. So in this example, it's very busy, right? So I didn't really want to put some of that contrast out, putting a lot in the melody. So more like the melody is just adding something to the harmony more than being the focus point. The tapping part here is the focus, and the melody is just adding something to it, right? That's how I see it anyway. And if you've got a piece that has a less going on in the melody, then perhaps you can fill in more. You can be a bit more busy with the harmony. You can be a bit more busy with the melody over that harmony. So I'll leave it there for you today. There's probably quite a lot for you to digest in that one. But let me know if you'd like to see more of these. I can take other song ideas and put deconstruct them, put them into context of how I approach the vocal melody writing on that one. So I hope you found this video very useful. So please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. And I want to say thanks to all of my patrons. If you're interested in becoming a patron, there's a link down below for that in the description. And if you're looking, like I said again, if you're looking for the intro song there, Incandescent, there will be a link down below in the description. And perhaps I'll drop a comment with it there too. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.